Hello, I'm MK Davis. I want to talk a little bit about this particular frame from the Patterson film. This was taken during the early part of the film when it was very shaky all over the screen. Couldn't hardly follow it. As a matter of fact, a lot of filmmakers did not include this in the film because of that. But as you can see right here, there's some really good frames here and there. Let me see if I can reposition this thing. A little close to it, I think. There we go. Anyways, this right here came from a Platin image, which is a paper image, and it was being sold at the live events that Roger Patterson had been going to, and after the showing of the film, he would sell these paper frames from the film. Over time, they fade, and they fade to like a yellow. But they can be corrected for. If you had to, it's a little more difficult than those transmission images, but it can still be done. It's pretty decent quality, excellent, as a matter of fact. Now let's just take a look at it. I want to point out something. That's all. Hopefully I won't take too much of your time. Alright, let's go. Now, this right here is that hole with the red material in it. You can see it's colored, but it's faded. Everything's yellow. This sandbar was not yellow. It never has. Nothing down there that color. It's more like a blue. So what you want to end up with accurate color rendition, excuse me, it helps to have been down there and actually seen it. We'll take a little bit of green out of it first thing. That's going to leave red and blue. Back off on the red a little bit. You start to get closer to the true color. You see the sandbar beginning to turn that bluish gray. The red material begins to show more in the hole. We'll brighten it up a little bit. A little too much. I'm concentrating on the sandbar, even though I got this creature here that's a pretty sharp image of it. I'm looking on the sandbar. Now, the reason I'm concentrating on the sandbar because something is on the sandbar that I already knew was there. But I want to make sure you see it and understand it. And when they began filming the creature, which is right here, she was excuse me, she was about right here. and she walked during the meantime this far before this frame was taken. Now, Peter Byrne told me that Roger Patterson told him that when he first saw her, she was kneeling down beside that red hole, and she had in her hands something black, and that she was licking it. He took it to be a rock, because of the wet slate rock is very dark. So if you can imagine that, down here by this red hole, and then she gets up, sees the two men, gets up, walks that way. Now, let's just this right here is what I was mostly interested in. Trying to get some of the red out of it. It gets out of balance. This is what I was referring to. There's red spatter right here. Each one of these is red, like the red footprint from the dog, but it's not a footprint, it's just spatter. Do I know what that is positively? No. No, I don't. But there's a hole full of it just down out of the field of view on the left side, down in here. So it wouldn't be surprising to just ride up this berm, just spatter. Get back off that. You can still see it without any color adjustments. I'll go back to the original film. Once you know it's there, you can't unsee it. That's it right here. It's that spatter. Is it from her? Is it from something down there? Maybe it's from the dog? Someone suggested hydraulic oil. It seemed like maybe hydraulic oil might be a candidate, but I looked up the date when they started adding red dye to hydraulic oil in equipment so that you could tell which one was leaking if you had a leak. And it was about 5 years after the film was taken. Don't think that's what that is. I'm going to leave this copy of this a link to it in the comments, and you can get it and see what you can do with it, whoever wants to give it a go. There's also some other places the sandbar is just kind of spilling out information everywhere, really. Let me see if I can find this. Equipment tracks. There you go. You can see where the sandbar has been run up and down with equipment. It's pretty much obvious when you get to these better quality frames. Matter of fact, I think I know that Charlie Whitson, according to Al Hodson, left his backhoe down there and was very mad at Patterson for running all the fuel out of it. I went by there. The Whitson family still has a business in Willow Creek. And Mr. Shukman, Mr. Shukman, I'm sorry. Mr. Shukman was a friend of Patterson. He met Patterson he had his own personal experience with a Bigfoot, and Patterson interviewed him. But he became friends with Patterson, and this is the first place Patterson stopped when he left Bluff Creek. He took a shower at Mr. Shukman's. Mr. Shukman had a small mini dozer, which would have made a similar track to this right here. Just doing some exploring there. And Mr. Shukman lived on a little creek about a mile from Bluff Creek called Slate Creek. He no longer lives there. He no longer lives anywhere, but other people are living in his house, his old house. And let's go back. Equipment tracks. And you can see them right here, where it's running back and forth across this wet stuff. You can see the tracks. You can see them pretty good right there. Here's Mr. Shukman's little mini dozer. That's still sitting up there in the bushes at his old house. Could that be the one who made these tracks right here? It could be. It's about the right size. But I don't know if it is. Patterson himself at one time had an ATV. I don't know if you can see it here. You can see the back of it right here. See, it's got the similar tracks It's one of those amphibious type. Go off in the lake and float across the lake. Let's see about this one. Tire track animation. See where this log was pushed out of place? It used to be lying right there where them arrows are pointing. Something came in and made these tracks right here and pushed this log forward toward the camera person. Not at the time he was filming, but at an earlier time. That's what people have been saying for all these years. It's hard to get a voice because the story says that no one was there but them. But that's just simply not true. There was a sheriff's deputy. It was a sheriff and the sheriff's deputy that were there, and they said they watched Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin ride by. That they never saw them. All this construction was going on. The logging company was removing trees that were in the way. And the equipment pushed this log out of the way at some point in time. Anyway, that's enough to think about for now. This one right here, I'm going to put a link to it in the comments and see what you think. Remember, the spatter is like right here. There's a lot of really talented people out there. See what you can do with it. Platinum image. Very good quality. I thank you for your time.